What's going on, boys, and welcome back to another video on the YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over my predictions for the upcoming Rotterdam Major. So, yeah, if you don't know, all three regionals for all of the regions have officially concluded, and these are your 16 teams from the regions, not including SSA, sadly. But these are all your region teams, and congratulations to them. We have a lot of random teams here that I know a lot of people didn't expect, and a lot definitely showed up and definitely proved that they are some of the best in the region. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And by the way, I do want to say that sorry, I am sick right now. It is rough. It's not as bad as it has been in the past, but honestly, it is so hard to record a video. I didn't want to stream this past week, and unfortunately, I wish I did, but I just couldn't, and it happened. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm recording this. Don't know when this is going to go out, but I am sick at the current moment. I may re record this, but if not, enjoy the sick video. Alright, first of all, this is a pretty simple one. This is going to go a good old 3-0. James Cheese, I haven't really seen them perform. I know it's a cross-region like team, and then Cammy from OCE used to be over there, and then Virtuoso as well from Europe. But honestly, I don't see this team making it far. I think they're in a weaker region, and I think the fact that they are so dominant in that region proves how weak of a region that is, considering the fact that it's rough. It's rough in there. It is rough. Yeah. It's not a strong region at all, and it's really hard to compete against like European NA teams, especially when you're facing people that were also going 0-3, so it's a bit rough. Anyways, next up, Jinji. I have a little more hope for Power, but I think Jinji is still going to be overpowered. Power completely. Same here with FaZe and Moist. Moist just have not been looking good in the slightest. I'm going to give that a 3-1. I think FaZe looked pretty dominant in the series. I think Moist maybe get a game off barely, maybe like a one-goal game, but it's going to be difficult for them. Very difficult. The Club Pioneers. So this is a rematch. I actually didn't watch the first one, or at least I don't remember it. That's just me though. I think this will be a close one. I think Club take it because I think they're a stronger team overall. I think Pioneers haven't been looking like themselves recently, which is so weird because I've been watching a bit of the OCE region, and they have been not struggling, but definitely not where I think they can be. So, yeah. Next up, Liquid Secret. This is a bit of an interesting one. This can go either way. Liquid performs on LAN. They do this pretty easily. Secret, they show up what they have in the past at LANs. They could also take this. Honestly, I got to give it to Liquid here in a game 5. I think, once again, another very close match. I think Liquid, I think they got pretty lucky. Obviously, they won the last regional yesterday. Congratulations to them. But they have not been showing up recently. And I think they were just there. They just managed to beat out BDS in round 5 to even qualify for the playoffs. Yeah. They haven't been performing, but I think they got Secret. I think Secret also haven't been looking like themselves recently. Bringing KB1 over. Maybe not the best idea. It happens. Version 1 Quadrant. This is a one that can definitely be a mixed match. I can see people going version 1. I can see people going Quadrant. It depends if Quadrant shows up. Because version 1 have definitely shown up before. They have shown that they're a pretty decent LAN team and they can perform when they need to. I'm going to give the upset to Quadrant here. I feel like Quadrant are going to show up. I feel like Quadrant are one of those teams that not many people had a lot of faith in. And same with, Jinji, but I think a lot of people have more faith in the Jinji than they did in Quadrant. But Quadrant shown up. They might not have made the last regional, but the first one, they made a good top 8 run. Actually, they made a top 4 run. Not to mention taking down BDS in a game 7, which is huge. And in the very next regional, they get second place and keep it decently close with Carmine Corp, which is crazy because they've made all 3 finals. Only won that one against Quadrant, but still, pretty good showing for Quadrant. Oxygen, G2, these are both teams that just honestly, they kind of fell off. G2 from going second place in the World Championship this last season, they have barely managed to qualify for this. I think they got lucky, and I think getting that good like top 4 run was definitely clutch for them because they needed that. Oxygen came in first regional, looked phenomenal, looked like they were going to be one of the best teams in the region, and then completely fell off. Very next regional, didn't even make it to the top 8. Then the next regional, this one that just happened this past weekend, they made 8th place, losing to G1, I believe. So, could be going either way. It depends. I think Oxygen shows up. They're gonna be decent. I'm gonna give it to G2 in a game 4. Yeah, I don't want to have a bunch of game 5s because they may be close. They may not be. This one's gonna go to a game five for sure, 100%. I feel like none of these teams are gonna. These are the two teams that can show up dominant and still make it go to a game five. Just that's just how good these teams are. Falcons. A lot of people have faith in them. Obviously, coming in as a runner-up for one of the recent majors that happened last season. I think the last one that happened in the spring, they were a runner-up, just beating or just losing out to Moist. But they looked good in that major. They came back this season. First regional looked a bit rough, but then they gained themselves back, and then won the next two. I don't really know where to go with this one. I I feel like a lot of people have faith in Space Station, and I wouldn't have faith in Space Station, but I'm gonna give it to Falcons. Just purely out of I believe Falcons can win that. Karma Court Quadrant, not too much of a debate right there. Carmine's got this pretty easy. Same with Jinji. I think they're gonna keep it close. I think Falcons will bring on a good fight, but I honestly think Jinji, or if they show up on land, they're gonna look great. FaZe Liquid. Now this is a bit of an interesting one here. A lot of people would expect FaZe to win this, and I feel like that's just a common sense answer. But I want an upset, and I'm gonna give it to Liquid. I feel like Liquid are definitely a team that can show up and definitely could upset when they need to. And I think this is one of the games that can definitely happen. They're a team that they either completely throw the match and show up like not at all, or they're a team that could show up and completely upset, like what happened in the last regional yesterday actually, where they beat Carmine Corp in the finals in a game six, and they won. So yeah, next up, G2 the club. I feel like this is something the club should win because G2 haven't been looking good, but I feel like G2 take that in a game four pretty easily. That's just one of the ones that you would expect the club to win, but then they just don't look good in it and completely throw off that match. Version 1, James Keys. I'm going to give it a one game. I think version 1 may throw one in like an overtime, maybe, just because they're, just messing around, just joking a little bit. But I think they ultimately take it. Space Station Power, same thing here. I think this one's also going to be game 4. Power, once again, pretty strong team. They look really good, especially in the OCE region. They look like one of the better teams, besides going out that first regional. They came back and won back-to-back regionals. So good showing from them. I think they're definitely one of the strongest oceanic teams that we've had in the league in a very long time, if not the best. That's just me though. Moist Secret. This is an interesting one. I want to get another upset here, but I don't think this is gonna happen. I think this will go to game five. I think Moist just barely win this. I feel like Moist they gotta show up, and this is definitely not the showing if they show up like this. Pioneers, Oxygen. I feel like this is gonna be a close one as well. I feel like Pioneers are just gonna barely lose, unfortunately, but it happens. Carmine Corp, Liquid. Do I want the rematch? And for Liquid to take it again, I feel like you could do that. I'm not going to. I think Carmine take it. I think Liquid keep it close. G2 Jinji. Same here. Jinji should win that, especially if G2 don't look good. But God, I feel like G2 is just gonna show up here for no reason, and it's gonna be rough. FaZe Oxygen 3-1. I feel like Oxygen aren't strong enough of a team unless they show up to beat out FaZe Clan. Falcons Moist. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring that a 3-0. Why not? We only have like one 3-0 this whole thing, and that's just Carmine Corp against James Cheese. 3-0. Moist haven't been looking too good. The club V1. I'm gonna give it to the club in a game 5. I feel like the club can upset that. Quadrant Space Station. I'm gonna give it to Space Station in a game 4. Space Station like a stronger team. I feel like they will be a stronger team. Yeah. Secret James Cheese. That's it for James Cheese. They are out, and that's the closest they're gonna get. Pioneers Power. The Battle of the Oceanic teams. I feel like I like the Pioneers. I like Power. I think Power is a stronger team, and I think they'll take it and eliminate Pioneers 0-3. Unfortunately. Jinji the club, well, I think Jinji could take that. I feel like Jinji is a strong enough team to take down the club. Maybe a little scary at some points, but Jinji, they'll be pretty good. Liquid Falcons, I feel like Liquid will take this one. It's just one of those unexpected ones that you genuinely wouldn't expect for them to take it, but they will. Yeah. FaZe Space Station, I'm gonna give it to Space Station. Why not? I feel like That could be a random one where phase just don't look good in the regional or the major. I mean, whatever. Version one power 3-1. That's pretty simple. Oxygen secret. We'll give it to oxygen. Game five. The very keep it close. Moist quadrant. I want to say goodbye to moist here, but I'm gonna give it to quadrant in a game five, and I think we say bye to moist. Yeah. All right. Phase quadrant. I'm gonna give that a 3-1. Quadrant's out. Unfortunately, goodbye. Falcons v1. Unfortunate matchup we have right here. And I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna give it to Falcons. Yeah, I feel like that makes sense. Same here. I feel like this was gonna be an unexpected one. I think Oxygen will just show up in this match for some reason and eliminate the club. So, with that being said, we have Carmine Corp and G2 going 3-0, Space Station Gingy and Liquid going 3-1, Face Clan, Oxygen, and Falcons going 3-2, eliminating teams like Pioneers at 1-3, Power, Moist, and Secret at 1-3, and Quadrant, the Club, and V1 all down there 2-3. So that's weird because 4 out of the 5 NA teams make it. I feel like that may not happen, but it could. So yeah, we'll see. Anyways, to the playoffs. Here we are. Carmine Oxygen. I think where this is going. Game 6. That's being nice. Oxygen. Don't look. I don't think they've shown up where they need to be. Gingy, Liquid. I'll give it to Gingy, but I think that's a very close one. G2 Falcons. I'm going to give that to Falcons in a game 6. G2 have to show up. They really want to win this, and I don't think they will. Face Clan Space Station could go back and forth. I feel like at the moment, we haven't seen Space Station on a land, especially with the team they are, but neither have we seen it with Face Clan. But I think last major, Miz showed up at the Worlds. I think it was Worlds, or it might have been the major before that. Not quite sure. They showed up and they actually looked pretty decent. So I think they're gonna take that in a game 7. Seems reasonable. Carmine, Gingy. So if you don't know, this is Noli and Itachi kind of going at it because the former teams, both on Carmine Corp originally. Itachi's still there and Noli moving to Gingy. I don't know where to go with this one because I ultimately think that a lot of people have said that Carmine look like a stronger team, and I think that's just because the region is so inconsistent. Like people can show up one time and just dominate. Like even with Oxygen winning the first regional in at Game 6 against Carmine, but I think Gingy has been so consistent and a very consistent team. And I think with that being said, I'm gonna give it to them in a game 6. Falcons FaZe Clan, you go with the way. I'm gonna give it to Falcon or FaZe Clan. Sorry, because I just feel that it makes sense. And here we are. So Gen G in their debut season, will they take a major win, or will FaZe Clan finally, finally win a major? My prediction, and I don't, I really don't know, because honestly, I think both of these teams have huge peak potential. This is a huge showing for NA, by the way. 2 teams in the finals, crazy. Gen I think, are ultimately a stronger team because they're more consistent to FaZe Clan and they have beat them more times. FaZe Clan beat Gen once, and that was in the first regional. Gen came back second regional and beat them, eliminating them top 8, and then also swept them in the last regional. So they looked good. I think FaZe Clan are gonna be a strong LAN team. I think it will be close. I think it will go to game 7. But I'm gonna give it to FaZe Clan, and they ultimately win their first major. So, with that being said, Pioneers James Cheese going out 15th through 16th, Moist Power and Secret going out 12th through 14th, Quadrant the Club in version 1 going out 9th through 11th, G2 Oxygen Space Station and Liquid going out 5th through 8th, and Carmine and Falcons going out 3rd and 4th. With your final 2 teams down to Gingy and FaZe Clan, where FaZe Clan ultimately takes it in a game 7. I think it will be close. I think that game 7 will most likely go to an overtime. I feel like it's not going to be a dominant one, or if it starts off like that, the other team will bring it back. that's just how strong these two teams are. I think FaZe Clan they get the revenge on Genji to finish off the split, making a 2-2 score between both these teams. So, with that being said, if you agree or disagree with anything, let me know in the comment section down below. Tell me what you would change about mine, or, honestly, who do you have winning? Also, follow my socials, links in the description down below. Like the video, turn on post notifications, subscribe. I may have already said that, but I'm saying it again because do it. It helps me out and it makes me feel great. And also, if you have any video suggestions, let me know in the comment section down below. I want to expand my content range, and as well as if you want to see me stream, I may be streaming every now and then on Twitch. So also links in the description down below. Go follow me on there. Be great. Appreciate it. I'll see you then. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.